Guardiola has thrown in the towel. Manchester City's coach made a surprising statement before the decisive match against Real Madrid in the Champions League, saying that his team only has a 1% chance of advancing. Is this a sign of discouragement or a strategy to take the pressure off the players? Let's analyze everything now. Let's understand this situation better. City lost 3-2 in the first leg, playing at home, and now needs to seek a result at the Santiago Bernabéu, one of the most difficult stadiums to win in Europe. Historically, the English team has only managed to beat Real Madrid there once, in 2020, in the round of 16 of the Champions League. The mission is complicated. To advance directly, City needs to win by at least 2 goals or force extra time with a simple victory by 1 goal. Any other result qualifies Real Madrid. And it was precisely because of this scenario that Guardiola declared that City's chances are minimal. In his words, "If you asked before the match what the percentage chance of advancing is, I would say we have a 1%. It will be a minimal chance. But, while we still have a chance, we will try, that's for sure." With that, he practically admits that the situation is not favorable, but still maintains a glimmer of hope. So, fans, do you agree with Guardiola? Does City really only have a 1% chance, or was this statement just a psychological game? Comment below with your opinion, because now we will delve deeper into this analysis and understand this match better. Manchester City and Real Madrid have faced each other several times in European competitions, creating a recent but intense rivalry. Until February 2025, the two teams have played 14 official matches against each other. Of these, Manchester City have won 5 times, Real Madrid have also won 5, and there have been 4 draws. This historical balance highlights the competitiveness of the clashes between the two clubs. Focusing on the games played at the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, home of Real Madrid, reveals a challenging scenario for Manchester City. Of the 6 matches played there, Real Madrid have won 3, there have been 2 draws, and Manchester City have emerged victorious only once. The citizens' only victory at the Bernabéu came in February 2020, when they won 2-1 in the Champions League round of 16. The Santiago Bernabéu is more than just a stadium. It is a true cauldron that puts pressure on opponents. The atmosphere created by the Madrid fans and the club's winning tradition make the Bernabéu an intimidating venue. Real Madrid have historically demonstrated remarkable strength at home, especially in European competitions. For Manchester City, overcoming Real on their home turf represents a monumental challenge, given the history and mystique that surrounds the stadium. Facing Real Madrid at the Bernabéu is not just a sporting event. It is an event loaded with cultural significance. For Manchester City players, playing on this historic stage is a test of fire that tests not only their technical skills but also their mental resilience. For fans, a victory in this context would be memorable, symbolizing overcoming one of the greatest challenges in European football. The narrative of winning at the Bernabéu adds an epic layer to any club's history. And for City, it could represent a milestone in their quest for continental glory. In the tactical analysis of the first leg between Manchester City and Real Madrid, which ended in a thrilling 3-2 win for the Spanish side, several elements highlight the complexity of the match and help to understand Pep Guardiola's statement that City's chances were just 1%. This result, achieved in a scenario full of ups and downs, reflects both the playing philosophy that City seeks to impose and the limitations encountered at crucial moments. City, led by Guardiola, has always stood out for its dominance of possession and high-pressing, central characteristics of its 4-3-3 formation. In theory, this approach should have allowed the team to create numerical superiority in attacking transitions and control the pace of the game. However, during the match, it was clear that, although the team tried to impose its style, the tactical execution left something to be desired in transition situations. The defense, which was sometimes disorganized, was punished by an experienced Real Madrid, who knew how to take advantage of every gap to launch quick and decisive counterattacks. One of the most critical moments occurred when City were winning 2-1, with just 5 minutes left in the game. At this stage, the team still had the potential to consolidate the advantage and impose a more controlled pace. However, a poor tactical decision, whether in the distribution of players or in the attempt to advance unprotected, opened the way for Real Madrid to equalize the score. Guardiola has always emphasized the importance of fine-tuning, and the performance showed that, in elite football, small mistakes can have devastating consequences. The coach even commented that, If City had maintained the advantage at that moment, the scenario would have been completely different, highlighting how every minute counts in decisive matches. Another highlight was the performance of the fullbacks and the performance of the midfield. The fullbacks, key players both in defense and in supporting the attack, struggled to contain the speed of the Madrid attackers. On several occasions, the need to quickly retreat to help defend left the flanks exposed, which the opponent knew how to exploit effectively. In midfield, the attempt to maintain possession and create structured plays came up against moments of hesitation, where the transition between attack and defense was not fast enough to neutralize the opponent's counterattacks. This tactical gap contributed significantly to the final result, showing that harmony between the lines is essential for success in high-pressure matches. Real Madrid's posture also deserves to be highlighted. Organized and with a compact defense, the Spanish team demonstrated a high degree of tactical discipline, managing to remain solid even when faced with pressure from City. By exploiting the spaces left by the English team's momentary disorganization, the Madrid team turned every opportunity into a lethal weapon, which culminated in the turnaround. This balance between experience, organization, and rapid response was crucial to the result, and reinforces Guardiola's view that, when faced with an opponent of this quality, the chances of victory were extremely slim. Guardiola's statement, giving City just a 1% chance of eliminating Real Madrid, therefore reflects a realistic recognition of the tactical challenges faced. It is not pessimism, but a careful assessment of what was observed on the field. The coach understands that, even with a top-level team, tactical execution needs to be impeccable, especially when playing against opponents who have the ability to turn small mistakes into big opportunities. Furthermore, it is important to consider the possible tactical alternatives that could have been adopted. One option would have been to adjust the positioning of the players to reinforce the defensive transition, reducing the spaces exploited by counterattacks. Another alternative would have been to temporarily change the formation to include an additional defensive midfielder, offering greater protection to the defense and ensuring faster recovery of the ball. Such adjustments demonstrate the complexity of managing an elite team, where every decision can change the course of the game and, consequently, the trajectory in the competition. Another relevant aspect is the impact of psychological factors. In high-tension matches, the confidence of the players is tested every minute, and the pressure of playing in a hostile environment, such as the Santiago Bernabéu, can directly affect performance. Guardiola, when commenting on the 1% chance, not only measures the difficulty of the challenge, but also prepares his team to face a situation in which every tactical and psychological detail has an enormous weight. Emotional management and the ability to recover from adverse moments are, without a doubt, essential components to overcome such great challenges. Finally, the tactical analysis of this match makes it clear that, even with a defined style of play and a team full of technical quality, details can make the difference between victory and defeat. Guardiola's stance, in acknowledging limitations and pointing out the need for adjustments, reveals a commitment to constant evolution and the pursuit of excellence. This learning will be essential for City to rethink its approach and improve both its defensive system and its fluidity in transitioning to attack, transforming the 1% chance into a basis for future improvements. In short, the match shows that modern football is a game of details, where tactical precision and emotional management go hand in hand. Guardiola's criticism is an invitation to reflect on the need for continuous improvement, showing that, in big games, every small mistake can have decisive consequences. All that remains for City is to use these lessons to adjust its course and, thus, face future challenges with the conviction that, even in the face of such low odds, the fight for success must never cease. Under Pep Guardiola, Manchester City have built a reputation for excellence and consistency, but this season has proven to be a major challenge for the team. According to the report, City are facing their worst run of form since 2016, with 12 defeats so far. This situation is not only affecting the players' morale, but also putting the club's ambitions in two fronts, the Premier League and the Champions League, in check. Challenges in the Premier League and the Champions League. In the Premier League, where consistency and pressure for weekly results are relentless, the 12 defeats represent a significant departure from City's usual performance. Historically, Guardiola has transformed the club into a winning machine, based on dominating possession and quick transitions. However, this season, tactical inconsistencies and failures at decisive moments have been frequent, highlighting a team that, although talented, cannot maintain the same level of performance under constant pressure. In Europe, the clash with Real Madrid perfectly illustrates this fragility. The 3-2 defeat in the first leg showed that, even playing at home, City were unable to impose their style of play effectively against an experienced and historically dominant opponent on their own turf. This setback further raises doubts about the team's ability to turn things around in an environment as hostile as the Santiago Bernabéu. Factors contributing to a difficult season. Several elements have contributed to this turbulent period. Firstly, the pressure to remain at the top, both in the domestic league and in Europe, has weighed heavily on the players. Each match is treated as a final, and the demand for immediate results can result in hasty decisions and tactical errors. In addition, issues related to squad management, such as injuries and accumulated fatigue, seem to have destabilized the team's cohesion, creating gaps that opportunistic opponents know how to exploit. Another important point is the psychological factor. The environment of high expectations, combined with negative results, has a direct impact on the players' self-confidence. The perception that the team is not playing the best football it knows it can play can undermine individual and collective performance. Guardiola, renowned for his tactical rigor and his care with the mental preparation of his players, has the difficult task of reversing this situation before the challenges become even worse. The role of recent results. Amid this scenario, the impressive result against Newcastle, with a 4-0 win, came as a breath of fresh air of optimism. This victory not only served to add points to the table, but also to re-energize the team and demonstrate that, despite the problems, City still has the ability to dominate and impose its style of play. Many analysts see this triumph as a stepping stone for recovering morale and tactical effectiveness, but they recognize that, against giants like Real Madrid, the road to recovery will be much more difficult. Lessons and future perspectives. City's difficult season can be seen as an opportunity for deep reflection and strategic adjustments. Guardiola, with his vast experience, knows that adverse moments can turn into valuable learning experiences. Identifying errors, whether in defensive transition, in executing attacking plays, or in managing the team's emotions, will be crucial for the team to return to winning ways. For fans, this difficult period is a reminder that football is unpredictable and that even the most dominant teams can go through moments of turbulence. The expectation now is that, through tactical adjustments and a strengthening of the collective mentality, Manchester City will be able to overcome this phase and regain the consistency that has always characterized its campaigns under Guardiola. In short, the difficult season not only challenges the current squad and coaching staff, but also puts into perspective the enormous responsibility of maintaining a high standard of performance in multiple competitions. What is at stake goes beyond a regular campaign. It is about preserving the winning identity and legacy of one of the most influential managers in modern football. After a season marked by ups and downs, the 4-0 thrashing of Newcastle last weekend emerged as a true turning point for Manchester City. This victory was not just an achievement in the table, but a clear sign that the team still has the potential and quality necessary to overcome the adversities faced recently. Recharging confidence. The clash against Newcastle showed a team that had once again imposed its characteristic rhythm. With significant possession, often exceeding 65%, City dominated the game from the first few minutes. This dominance not only ensured the creation of several opportunities, but also demonstrated that the team is prepared to adjust its performance after negative results. Players such as Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, and Erling Haaland put in decisive performances, highlighting the team's ability to reinvent itself and shine when the conditions are right. This victory served as a psychological relief, reinforcing the belief that the team is capable of recovering and returning to playing with the intensity that has always characterized it. Tactical adjustments and organization. In terms of tactics, City showed significant improvements compared to previous matches. Guardiola made strategic changes that allowed for greater cohesion between the lines. The defense was more compact, reducing the space for the opposition to counterattack, while the midfield was positioned to quickly regain possession, ensuring more efficient attacking transitions. This reorganization not only neutralized the weaknesses that had been exploited in previous matches, but also created a solid base for a dynamic and effective attack. Every goal scored during the match reflected not only the technical superiority, but also the tactical convergence and discipline of the team. Strategic impact and future perspectives. In addition to the tactical and psychological benefits, The rout over Newcastle has a greater strategic significance for the team. In a season where results have been unpredictable, this triumph acts as a springboard, a starting point that can inspire the team to overcome even greater challenges, such as the decisive clash against Real Madrid. Guardiola himself stressed that victories like this are not just about adding points, but about re-energizing the group, adjusting the mentality, and strengthening collective confidence. If City can maintain this level of performance, the mood of optimism could spread throughout the squad, transforming the minimal chances that they themselves admitted 1% into extra motivation to seek redemption. In short, the game against Newcastle goes far beyond a simple victory on the scoreboard. It is an indication that, even in moments of adversity, Manchester City has the ability to recover and adjust its course. This expressive performance renews the hope of the fans and reinforces the idea that, with the right tactical adjustments and the recovery of confidence, the team can transform challenges into opportunities for growth. If this momentum is consolidated, the match against Real Madrid could be faced with a more resilient and determined attitude, increasing the chances of reversing the unfavorable scenario and advancing in the Champions League. With the first leg already decided 3-2 against City, the second leg at the Santiago Bernabéu is shaping up to be one of the most challenging clashes of the season. The possibilities for this match are divided into scenarios that could both surprise and highlight the limitations of the English team, especially after Guardiola's own statement about the minimal chances of advancing in the competition. Let's analyze some of these scenarios and their possible impacts on Manchester City's trajectory in the Champions League. Optimistic scenario: a historic turnaround at the Bernabéu. Despite the unfavorable statistics, and City have only won once at the Bernabéu historically, 2-1, in the 2020 round of 16, a victory in the second leg is the only route that allows them to qualify without relying on additional criteria, such as goals scored away from home. If City manages to mount a turnaround, imposing its rhythm and neutralizing Real Madrid's offensive power, this victory would not only represent an unprecedented feat, but could also transform the 1% chance mentioned by Guardiola into an example of overcoming obstacles. A convincing victory, with a margin sufficient to make up for the result of the first leg, would provide a significant psychological boost to the players and increase confidence in the squad's ability to face future challenges in the competition. Realistic scenario: the need for an exceptional result. Another possibility is that City managed to secure a positive result even without a complete victory. For example, a draw with an aggregate advantage, when City score 2 goals and Real Madrid score just 1, could theoretically be enough to qualify. However, this scenario requires not only a sharp attacking performance, but also an extremely solid defense, capable of containing the opposition's attacks in a hostile environment. The tension at the Bernabéu and Real Madrid's winning tradition at home weigh heavily, which makes this a very delicate result. This scenario, the team's performance illustrates the fine line between hope and the harsh reality of the numbers presented by Guardiola. Pessimistic scenario: elimination and its impacts. In the worst-case scenario, City are unable to reverse the deficit and end up being eliminated from the Champions League. This possibility, although intimidating, has profound implications for the club. Elimination would not only mean the end of a European campaign full of expectations, but could also accelerate internal pressure on the coaching staff and the squad, especially after a season already marked by inconsistent results in the Premier League. Withdrawal from the competition could impact the perception of fans and investors, in addition to representing a setback in the construction of a legacy of achievements that the club has been trying to consolidate under Guardiola. Strategic and psychological impacts. Regardless of the result, the game at the Bernabéu will be decisive for City's immediate future in the competition. A win or even a successful draw can serve as a catalyst for tactical adjustments and a reconfiguration of the team's mentality, reinforcing the idea that, even in the face of seemingly minimal odds, persistence and preparation can surprise. On the other hand, a tragic elimination will highlight the importance of details, from emotional management to tactical choices, and will serve as a learning experience for future challenges in high-level competitions. Furthermore, the impact goes beyond the 90 minutes on the pitch. The result of this match has the potential to influence the club's future strategic decisions, from possible changes in the lineup to adjustments in training methodology and psychological preparation. Guardiola, known for his relentless pursuit of improvement, will certainly use this match to reassess and, if necessary, reformulate fundamental aspects of City's game. Now, we want to hear from you. football fans and enthusiasts. What do you think? Do you believe City can surprise at the Bernabéu and turn the odds around? Or will Real Madrid reassert their dominance at home? How do you assess Guardiola's situation this season? Could the tactical adjustments and the win against Newcastle serve as the impetus for a turnaround? Leave your comments below and share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss future content. After all, football is full of surprises, and every detail can make a difference. Thank you for following along, and see you in the next video, where we will continue to explore the most exciting and decisive moments in the world of football.